Hi, Kara. All right, we'll get started. You're going to be doing quite a bit on the balance ball this week. The first thing is a balance ball chest press. So you're going to have your dumbbells. You're going to slide forward so that the ball is, get back a little bit. So the ball is under your shoulder blades, and you should be able to rest your head comfortably, okay? Your core is going to be working to keep that, suck in those abs, keep them very tight, and you're going to be lifting with your quads and your glutes and your hamstrings to keep your hips up straight, okay? Because you're going to have a tendency to drop those hips as you're working, so you want to be fighting and toes pointing forward. The chest press is simply starting at the chest. Your weights are, your arms are about at a 90-degree angle. You're going to push straight up and bring your dumbbells together and touch them at the top. So as you lower, they're going to come out just a little bit so that your arms are at a 90-degree angle, and then you're going to push them up to the top. You're just going to do that over and over, always keeping those hips up. So you're going to be thinking about a lot of things while you're doing it. Do it nice and slow. Keep the form good. That's your chest press. Then you're going to be doing a balance ball reverse fly. Now this you can do either on your knees, which I would suggest starting on your knees just because of your ankle. You're going to bring your arms in front of you and pull back. Okay? So it's like kind of like the row that we did. And the balance ball is on my stomach, like on the main part of my stomach is where I'm resting on the balance ball, okay? As you pull back, your arms aren't going to be perfectly straight. They're going to be a little bit bent. You want to keep your shoulders down, and you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together as hard as you can. That's the muscle movement that's working to get the weights up, okay? You can also do it off of your knees, all right? Pulling your shoulder blades up. Pulling your shoulder blades up. That's going to engage your core a little bit more. But I would start on your knees. All right. Then a balance ball push-up. These are very challenging. You're going to put your hands pretty close together. Not thumbs touching, but about 1.5 inches apart. And I do them on my knees. You're going to squeeze really hard with your core. So you're going to be pulling your navel back towards your spine. You want to keep your shoulders down. And as you lower down into the push-up, you're going to keep your elbows right next to your side, okay? And you don't want to get so low that you're just completely resting on the ball. You want to keep that resistance there. So as you lower, keep your elbows into your side, push back up. And when you push back up, try not to pull your hips out to get back up. Try and use. It's going to be a lot of arms. A lot of core. You're going to be really feeling it all through here. These you can do on your toes. I still can't do them on my toes, so I'm not going to demo that. But I'm working towards it. All right, then you're going to do some squats. You're going to be doing a lot of squats, so really practice your form with squats. Pay attention to your body as you're doing a squat. What you're going to do is you're just going to have your feet about hip width apart, hip width, shoulder width, and your toes forward. That's the most important thing. One of the most important things is that your feet are forward. Most people have a tendency to turn the feet out. So just watch your feet, and then as you're doing them, keep an eye on your feet. Make sure they're not turning out as you're doing your squats. You can pick a hand position. I usually like to pray because they get kind of tough after a while. And you're going to squat down. So when you squat down, I lift physically my toes off the ground to keep the weight in my heels of my feet because you don't want to be rocking forward on those toes as you're squatting. Okay, so this is what it looks like from the front. Now you can see when I'm in the squat position, my knees are pointed forward also. They are in line with my second toe. So you want to watch for knees going in, knees going out. You don't want either one. You want your feet and knees pointed forward as you squat, okay? Weight in the heels. from the side. Same thing. So as you squat, you are going to bend forward just a little bit. Okay? There are squats where you don't, but just a regular squat, you are going to bend forward just a little bit. What you don't want to do is this. Okay, see my shoulders are dropping below my hips. You want to feel it all in your legs. So you're leaning back like you're sitting in a chair. All right? And the deeper the squat, the more intense it is. You want to fight for 90 degrees. So when you hit that low point, you want your legs to be at about 90 degrees. Okay. Hip extensions. You're going to lay flat on the floor, your feet down, your hands down on the ground, and you're just going to raise your hips up off the ground. This is going to be using your hamstrings, back to your legs, and your glutes, your booty muscles. Okay, the secret with these is don't let your hips go all the way back down to the ground to rest in between. So when you come back down, lower so that your hips just barely touch the floor, but all your muscles are still engaged. Press back up, okay? And the more power you use to thrust into the hip extension, the more it's going to work the core muscles. But in the beginning, just take it nice and slow. Really work on your form. And if you start to cramp in your legs, just rest. No big deal. Okay, squat pulse. So the squat pulse, you're going to get down to your lowest spot that you're comfortable in the squat, and you're just going to do little pulses like this, up and down, little pulses. Again, watching for those knees. They might start to migrate in. Keep them out. Fight to keep that form really nice through the pulse. Okay? The deeper you are as you're pulsing, the more intense it is. For tabletop, for core, tabletop, start like this, and you just raise your hips up. Okay, so similar to the bench press on the balance ball, you're just squeezing all those muscles to keep those hips flat. You want to make a table, and you want to watch that you're not sinking into your shoulders, so keep your shoulders away from your ears. If this bothers your wrists or your shoulders, go down to your elbows and just lift as much as you can. Plank. So you've done a lot of plank. This time I want you to try it on your toes. See how your ankle does with doing plank on your toes. And then, of course, if you get tired, just drop your knees. Okay. And a side plank with a knee pull. So this you're going to be on your elbow. And I want the bottom knee down. Okay, but you're going to raise your hips up off the ground, and you will feel big time working here on the obliques. You want your elbow under your shoulder away from your ears. And then you're going to put your other hand like this, or you can put it on the ground too. If you're having trouble balancing, just put it on the ground. But what you're aiming for is this. You're going to pull this leg that's on the top into you and crunch toward it with your elbow. Okay, so this oblique is working to keep your hips up off the ground, and then you're going to crunch the other oblique in. You're going to feel that all through your hip flexors and your obliques on the bottom there. It's great. All right,